Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie.
All right, before we start this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie, I want to say that I appreciate all of you guys being here and watching the show. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. I've been watching the statistics on YouTube, and I have more people that are watching the show that haven't subscribed. So if you're watching the show and you're here and you haven't subscribed, please do hit the notification bell, hit subscribe to the channel so you can see when shows come out. And for everyone else that's been here for a while, I'm glad you guys are here. All right, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today, I have with me Lisa Ludwig, firearm instructor. That's what it comes up on my phone. Lisa Ludwig, firearm instructor. I think the first time it came up was Lisa Firearms.
Yeah, I don't know how that even happened, honestly, but hey,
the magic of
roll
the
with
smartphones.
It. Yes.
Exactly. And we are here on Lawn Guyland.
We are.
How do you say it officially?
The longest island.
The longest island.
Now, the funny way to say it is lawn, like the lawn, Guyland.
Lawn Guyland.
That's the right way to say it, but really it's
Gotcha.
Long Island.
Long
yes.
Island. And where is this? We're in Wantagh?
We're right now, we're in Wantagh State Park.
Wantagh State Park.
Yeah, this is where we met up, and
yes.
we're going to go take a ride and go down to Jones Beach, which is our national park in Nassau County, which is, so there's two counties on Long Island. There's Nassau and there's Suffolk. And here's something that a lot of people don't know about, is that Queens and Brooklyn is part of Long Island as well. A lot of people think that it's part of, like, you know, where Manhattan is and where Bronx is, but it's not. It's actually part of Long Island. And we're only attached to the United States by bridges. So if those bridges go out, we kind of have a problem.
So being a gun gal, do people come up to you and they're like, hey, listen, you're a gun gal, if something bad happens, we're coming to your house?
Kinda, yeah.
What I do is this, I pat people on the stomach, I say, if you're coming over to my house, you need to fatten up because I will eat you and kill you. Kill you and eat you. I need to put it in the right order.
That's the truth. We're going to just take this all the way down.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because people kind of thought I was like paranoid back in the day when I started prepping. That's kind of how I got into this world. 9/11 happened, which is, you just traveled from New Jersey, so you kind of took the route I took home. You basically have to go through Manhattan to get home, or Bronx or whatever to get home to here. And so I'm really not that far considering you had traffic. It would be about 45 minutes to get from my house to basically the city, or an hour by car. So I saw the smoke from the towers, and I didn't have anybody affected, unfortunately. Fortunately, I should say. But it definitely affected me personally because I felt very vulnerable, and all the people were shopping and getting all the needs, and the shelves were bare at that time. So I felt really unprepared. Yeah. So I started prepping, and I started getting, you know, food, water, generator, ways to cook, ways to do light, whatever. And next thing you know, I thought someone can come right into my house and just take everything, and I couldn't do anything about it. Right. So I said, I have to do something about this. So I reached out to my local military guy because I didn't know any better.
You don't know who else to talk to.
Exactly. And basically he was like, okay, go get a 12 gauge Remington 870 tactical and meet me in Calverton, which is a pit in Long Island where the wild, wild west is. We're going to make a right, and we're going to go up this little thing right here. And that'll take us on to the Wantagh State Parkway. Yeah, and we're gonna go south. All right. So that's why I took this, because it's like a nice little whoop, and we're right on there.
So we're getting this.
We're going right in this little nick right here.
So it's no turn on red. How about a U-turn? Can you U-turn on?
I would not. There is no turns, even a U-turn. So, I mean, you could, but there might be a.
I don't trust the camera enforced stuff. Like, right?
It's so bad.
So I love Adam Carolla, and Adam Carolla likes to say, you can left on red. Right? He's like, if it's not going to be a problem and not going to be a traffic issue, left on red. And then he has people that call in and message him and whatever, and they'll be like, hey, listen, you know what? I made 3 left on reds this week and it felt great. And he's like, look, it's like killing a hooker. Like, the first time it feels bad, but then after a while you get used to it.
You can see how people go the wrong way really
Absolutely.
easily, and how there's 50
14
signs.
wrong way signs.
And people still do it. You would be very surprised. Also, no trucks are allowed on our parkways here. A lot of people that travel in the rest of the country don't really realize when you come here, if it's a parkway, you cannot be on here with a truck. We have really low bridges, and people smack into the bridges all the time.
Yes.
Robert Moses, who's the one who made all the parkways around here, made the bridges very, very low. And this might be a myth, but according to the myth here on Long Island, they said Robert Moses was very racist, and he wanted to keep the whatever people from the city to here. Yeah, minorities, I don't really want to say it, but from the city to here, so he kept the bridges low to stop the trucks from coming in. This is a myth again, so I don't know if it is or if it isn't.
Are there a lot of black truck drivers? Like,
I don't know. And this is so long ago. This is like in the 50s and stuff. So it's never been updated. They've always been very little, you know, bridges and stuff. So
yeah, I noticed that. I was on the Beltway.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, no. So I usually when I come down through New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania and stuff, I take the Merritt Parkway in Connecticut, and I really call it the Merritt Speedway.
Doing like 900 miles an hour.
Right, because nobody does 55.
No.
I'm like Sammy Hagar.
I do 55 when it's like snowing.
Right.
I am an aggressive driver. I'm from New York. I can't help it. It's just kind of part of my territory.
Yeah, there's some road in Massachusetts where it drops from 65 to 55, and somebody said to me one time, like, so do you slow down when it goes from 65 to 55? I said, yeah, I slow down to 75.
Yeah.
Like, really, man.
So it's pretty, look.
Oh, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, so when we go all the way down, there's the pencil right there. You can kind of see it sticking out.
Oh,
and next to it is is our venue, like our concert venue, called the Jones Beach Amphitheater. Exactly.
I have had a roommate who lived on Long Island. He actually still lives in New York. And he said he used to come to concerts in Jones Beach all the time.
Best venue ever, because it bounces off the water and comes back, so you get like that, that like effect. And then all the boats come in from behind the screen, so you see all the boats like lined up. It's really, really cool. They have like waitress service. I haven't been there in quite some time, but it's a nice venue. Even people in the parking lot, like, they'll hang out and do like, what do they call that?
Tailgating.
Tailgating. Yes, exactly.
Right.
For the poor people that can't afford the tickets.
Can't afford tickets, right.
Exactly. I mean, the tickets, we were just looking recently for Korn and Evanescence. They were going to be coming here, and it was like $350, and they were like far seats each. And then it's taxes and other stuff on top of that. I was like, no way, $400. Yeah, so this is the, I forget what bay this is, or it's going out into, I think, the Atlantic, because we're kind of between Connecticut and
New York
and Long Island. That's like that gap, which is going to go out to.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice place. Does the job. And so back to how I learned. Oh yeah, don't get off. Yeah, don't turn around. Okay. Oh, you're good. You're good in this lane. Just don't go that way.
Okay. Do we take this way to get to the pencil?
Keep going. Okay. You're gonna go all the way up to around to it.
We're gonna go get a selfie by the pencil.
All right, cool. I don't think we could park there though, but we could run over, because it's just like a roundabout. But we could probably run over. There's a parking spot like across.
We'll park your lane.
No worries. I'm a badass rule breaker. Don't worry. Don't tell anybody, please.
Right.
So
nobody watches the show anyway, so
that's true, except for me. I'm the only fangirl, and here I am being interviewed. I love it.
I love it.
But
all right, so you started prepping, and this place is great. Get yourself a Remington 870.
Right, I met him there. I shot 5. I hit 0. I went home. I put a.
Wait a second. You're supposed to shoot shotguns. You don't even have to point them.
Right. You're not supposed to aim at all. Right. I hit nothing. So I went home. I put a sock over the muzzle, and I put it under my bed, and it sat there for 2 years.
Wow.
I was petrified of it. I wouldn't even vacuum near it. I thought it was going to explode. Because I swear to God, there was like dust bunnies all over it. I was petrified of it.
Gosh.
So flash forward about 8 years ago, we bought our home, and I started with a couple other people, the neighborhood watch group, and we got notified by the Ring camera that there was a woman running into her house, a local neighbor, running into her house and locking the door, and you might want to get over into the middle lane.
All right.
And she locked the door. A guy came after her with a mask on and a 9mm in his hand, and he was donkey kicking the door. Thankfully, the door didn't open, and I said to the people in the group, you know, if that door would have opened, what would you have done? So you're going to be going around the pencil, so you're going to stay in, not in the right lane, maybe in the middle lane, because it's 2. So a center lane, yeah, stay in the center lane, and that's the pencil. So see it behind it, there's like a tent or something. There's like a parking lot somewhere over there. Okay, but it's a far walk from here.
We're not parking, we're just gonna get a selfie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go on it. Oh yeah, I guess that would be kind of close. That would be kinda close.
What is that? I don't know, I can't tell. Little memento.
Go in the middle. Oh my God, don't get us killed. Oh my God.
I know, right?
Oh my God. We're gonna die! No, Alright, so we're gonna stay here, and we're gonna go around the pencil, and we're gonna go that way. So this is,
We're gonna go that way.
Yep, we're gonna go around.
Alright.
This is gonna be like, look kids, Big Ben.
Look kids, Big Ben.
Kind of how it is.
Look kids, Big Ben.
So it's pretty cool. They made like an adventure park here. Yeah, watch these assholes, because they can be a little... Oh, you're good. You're good. You're solid, kid. All right, straight up. And they made like an adventure park, see? Right here. Oh, wow. So like you can climb and zip line and do all this other stuff. Cool. And then that's the amphitheater over there on the left.
Oh, cool.
Which we can go in and take a check. Isn't that pretty cool? It's like this is all new.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, it's huge.
It is huge.
I did not realize how freaking big that was. Wow.
I love it when they say that.
Wow. Hey.
Hey now.
Hey now.
All right. So.
Oh yeah. So back to what I was saying.
We're trying to stay focused.
Yeah, I'm trying.
We both have ADD.
We really do. So, and I digress so much. We're just going to travel this, and then you could just turn around whenever you want, and we can go back the other way. There's really not much here, but this is what you're looking at. It's pretty. The only thing I can think of that was local.
No, it's cool.
All right, so what happened was, so the lady, the video, she was, you know, locked the door. The man ran, you know, with a mask and a 9mm in his hand. He was donkey kicking the door, and thankfully it didn't open. So, in that regard, I sent in the group, you know, who wants to learn how to shoot firearms, because this is absurd. What would that lady have done? Would she have thrown a book at him? Right. Would she have stabbed him? Would she waited for the police for 30 minutes and they show up 3 at a time together? Right. You know, so nothing against the police, but they can't be everywhere at once. So we have to understand that we need to be our own hero in our own story. And if we're not present in our own story, then this is all for show. You could buy as many guns as you want, but if you don't know what you're doing with it, then you might as well just, you know, just be a sheep.
Yeah, it's the whole, if you're stockpiling food for the zombie apocalypse, right, and you don't have a way to protect yourself, then you're just stockpiling food for someone who's got a gun.
Well, think about it. Even here, now that you've come here, you see, you went over bridges to get here. If those bridges get cut off, we are done here. We have no way to get food into this area at all. So whatever's on Long Island is what we have. So it's going to be, and I have to say, at the pandemic, it was pretty close here that we were going to be eating squirrel, because our shelves were bare. You know, and it was pretty scary here for a moment, and you know, I just never wanted to feel that way again. So in regards to that, I started the Long Island Women's Firearm Club, which started in 2019 in August, matter of fact.
All right,
this is my 3-year anniversary.
Did you? Awesome. Thank you. You didn't have any gun experience though.
Well, I was an NRA instructor.
Okay,
sorry, I skipped that part.
Yeah, so we went from I'm scared of a shotgun to I'm starting a ladies' group.
That's right, I'm sorry. We'll go back. So what happened was I reached out to a local training counselor because I felt like I needed to get trained. So I got currently I'm up to rifle and pistol instructor from the NRA. I'm working on shotgun, which is not my favorite flavor if you haven't noticed. Cool. I am a GLOCK certified armorer. I'm a chief range safety officer. I am a New York State Armed Guard. And I am now the president of the Long Island Women's Firearm Club that I started 3 years ago as like a free membership to like women. I kind of got them like used to me because who am I? Like no one knew who I was. I had zero experience. I wasn't a law enforcement personnel. I wasn't military. Yeah. So who's going to pay me to speak to them? So what I did was I just started getting my name out there as best I can. I would go to any gun store and be like, look, would you do like a free basics of firearms class? And I'll come and teach it, and you'll have people in your store after hours. They'll maybe do some purchases. I'll bring in some people, and let's see what happens. And I started growing it like little by little. And what happened was word of mouth. It just started getting bigger and bigger. So I started with the Western Suffolk chapter. So Long Island looks like a fish. In the belly of the fish was my first chapter. it grew so big that I had to split off to a Nassau chapter, which is kind of by like Brooklyn, Queens, and then another chapter in all the way out at the end of Long Island where the tail is, right? So because you know, people don't want to travel, so I come to them. So what I did was I built an all-female staff. I trained them personally, made them all range safety officers. They're rifle instructors, some are pistol instructors, and I just built them up and worked with them, you know, bringing them to the range, and still to this day, 3 years strong. We're now currently about 100 members that we work with. It ebbs and flows, obviously. Some people come in, they get what they need, they go. Some people stay forever. I actually had my longest member just leave last week. I've had her since day one, 3 years. That's a long time to be with somebody.
It is.
And to continually have them, you know, train you and stuff. So it's nice to have that, you know, that reputation now that I built, that I am a good instructor. So I started She Trains You because men wanted to train with me too, and they were like, well, I can't join a women's club. And I'm like, obviously you can't, unless you duct tape it and, you know.
You can't tell me how I identify.
Oh, believe me, I almost had one of those.
Oh my God.
Anyway. So I started She Trains You, and that kind of took off as well. So I do a lot of private one-on-one trainings, and I do a lot of personal protection. So I am a martial artist as well. I've been a martial artist since I was 12 years old. I did it for about 20 years, and then I kind of fell away from it for a while, and I had to have triple back surgery. I just had one about 8 months ago, and I lost about 50 pounds to be able to combat keeping myself healthy and living and breathing what I teach, because although it's just firearms, there's a lot more involved in that. You need to be physically fit to really get a good, you know, sight alignment, sight picture, a good grip, and be able to handle it without fatiguing so easily. So I started really focusing on myself, working with yoga, working with physical therapy, working out myself, doing boxing, stretching as much as I can. The new strong is mobility and flexibility, in my opinion, because as you get older, if you notice, your hips get real tight, your back gets tight, your legs get tight. It's because you're not stretching. If you're not stretching like 1 or 2 times a day for like 10 minutes, then you're going to really feel it as you get older. So it's just a mentally note to anybody young watching. Please do yourself a favor. If you can take anything from this little snippet that we're doing today, or a vignette, you should definitely keep yourself as a priority, because you only get one body.
Right. I did a class with somebody, and there was a little bit of running, a little bit of shooting, and he said, if this tires you out, you need to fitness yourself. That's right. And I'm like,
it's a trifecta, 100%. And not only that, there's also personal awareness. A lot of people, unfortunately, walk around like do-to-dos, and they don't really pay attention to the world. So I try to train them like, look, no more looking at your phone when you're walking around, no more headphones. If you're taking and putting headphones in your ears, you're taking away one of your senses. Yeah. You ever walk down a trail and hear a squirrel before you see one? Well, that's a reason for that, because your ears are so acute to hearing little things that you hear things before you see them.
Yeah.
So if you're plugging up that hole.
Right. Look, when you're driving, it used to be illegal to have headphones on when you're driving.
I agree. I just saw one yesterday, matter of fact. I go, look at this dump. That's dangerous.
And now you see the people that got the earbuds in, the AirPods.
Kind of like the same thing.
Right, because you know, listen, when you're in traffic, you hear the sirens of the police car or an ambulance or a fire truck, and
or
then
screeching tires or a horn.
You hear that stuff, and then you say, all right, where's the fire truck coming from? Where's the ambulance coming from?
Yeah, I agree with that. It should definitely be illegal, and still be illegal.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that happened, and then I started to hook up with a girl and a gun about 3 years ago. I know you interviewed Robin Sandoval, who's our fearless leader. She's awesome.
She rocks.
She's awesome. I actually met her for the first time at the Mingle, Shelley Hill and Brian Hill.
Yeah.
I went there in, what was that, in March, I think it was, of this year?
So, yeah.
And I had the bestest of times. All the women in the firearms industry were there. It was an amazing time, and I can't wait to go back again. We're already doing an Airbnb with like 10 girls, so it's going to be like amazing. And coming forward, you know, working with them has been a blessing, because you know, they are nationally recognized, and it's nice that I get to represent the Long Island chapter for them, and I'm very proud to be part of them. And then other than that, like I said, I do a lot of self-defense classes with, you know, I actually work with a lot of young girls, like that are like, say, 12 to like like, say, 25, who really want to get, you know, the understanding that if they're out in the world, what they're going to do. So, for one, pre-accident indicators. Like, what are you supposed to see when something's going to happen, and how do you react to that? So, unfortunately, our brain, it doesn't really work that fast, that when we see something, we don't know how to react quick enough. And that's another problem. So we need to, one, recognize the threat, two, know what to do with the threat, and three, not be like the deer in headlights that would happen if we didn't go through these scenarios.
Right.
So I try to do a lot of, you know, decision-making skills, because it's great to have a draw to first shot in 2 seconds, but to have a 2-minute decision-making skill, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't take that, you're not going to have that kind of time for stuff.
No, you're not.
And I mean, it's a lot of, you know, I see videos of my daughter has long hair, and I see these videos of people in restaurants, and I remember seeing one where this woman was dragging some woman by her hair out of a restaurant. I'm like, oh my God, what if that was my daughter? What would, like, I would be livid.
Absolutely.
But would my daughter know how to respond to something like this?
Exactly.
Unfortunately, I think the answer is no. But
that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. It is. I asked my daughter at the beginning of the summer. I took her to college last year, and the first thing we did, we went to she goes to college in the South. First thing we did was go to a Waffle House.
I went to one recently, my first time in my life.
It's the best.
It really was very good. It was very clean, too. I mean, there was a lot of sketch in there.
Yes, there is.
Karen Farthing and Courtney missing up, McCarthy, I think is the last name. We went, the first thing they did was when they took me off the plane to go to the Mingle, is they took me to a Waffle House. They're like, we got to take a New Yorker to a Waffle House.
Oh my God.
It was really good, though, you're right. I had it like smacked and layered and smacked and tethered. I don't know what the hell they said.
Smothered and layered.
Smothered and layered, smacked and, you know, turned around. Who knows?
I love it, man.
It was awesome, though.
So, yeah, so I get her down to Nashville. We went to a Waffle House, and then we went to the Nashville Armory and bought her some pepper spray.
Oh, okay, good.
And I, you know, I always tell people, I jokingly say, the first thing you know about if you want to learn a 3-hour pepper spray class in about 14 seconds, here's what you do. Spray people above the eyebrows.
Right, and you let it dribble into their eyes, and use your thumb, and you do a sweeping fashion.
Yep. And that's what you need to do. But I told her this summer, I'm like, hey girl, like, I did another pepper spray instructor class with my friend Matt Mallory, and I'm like,
I know him.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He almost bought my UTM stuff, actually, just recently.
Did he?
Yeah. He was like, I can't do it right now, unfortunately, so I sold it back to the people that sold it to me, because it was too hardcore for my girls, unfortunately. They're like, you ain't shooting me with that. You ain't shooting me with that.
Yep.
I showed them like a big welt on my stomach. They were like, oh no, no. Yeah, I don't think so. But I had blanks too, but that's not as fun.
It's not as fun.
I want to shoot people. Come on, that's what I do. I'm sorry. No, I don't do that. I train people responsibly with firearms.
To shoot them ethically.
To stop a threat.
Yes.
Yes,
so
sir.
I did the pepper spray class, and I told my daughter, I'm like, sweetheart, we should get a pepper spray class with some of your girlfriends.
That's a great idea. Like, if you want to return around, you can at any time. And if you want to go, we'll go towards the place to eat, so you can get the hell out of here and go home.
Right.
It's so good. You know, well, I'm saying so good. You know, they're like they're like $1, you know, hamburgers. You know, they're not the
perfect.
They're not the cream of the crop, but they're there. If they've been around since 19.
The pink meat? Was it? No. Was the pink?
That was my high school name.
Oh, damn. So we will have to put the little rating on marking on it.
R rating.
No, what was it? The pink stuff that they said they put in McDonald's?
It's like glue or something.
Something like that.
Oh, it's disgusting. I don't even want to know what they put in that. I try to stay away from fast food as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, I hear you.
Alright, it's like a 20-minute ride since we went so far down, but it's close to where my car is, like on the way out, basically.
Easy peasy.
Alright.
Alright, so
3 months.
Yeah, pepper spray.
Yeah, you should do that. That's great.
Yeah, it would be good to have something, because you don't have the reaction time, and if you don't have a plan, then you got to say, oh, what do I do? There's a guy charging me. Well, what do I do? I don't know. I should think about something.
Yeah,
it's too late.
It's true. And like, what does a bad guy even look like, too? Like, they could be smiling and smell good. They don't necessarily have to be a homeless guy.
Everyone said Ted Bundy was
right.
All
he did was a cast and look on the side of the road with a broken down car and woe is me look, and he killed you.
Yeah.
Around here, I don't know if you heard of it, the Gilgo murders. Gilgo Beach. I want to say like 4 or 5 prostitutes were killed and left their bodies like around in this
See,
area.
you kill one, it gets easier the second time. By
Pretty
the
much.
fifth,
You're an expert.
Right. It's like, I'll be back in a bit. I gotta go out. You going to get some lunch? No,
100%.
a little bit later.
It's tied to a lot of controversy here on Long Island in terms of like police are involved, and it's pretty crazy. But they keep finding bodies. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
That's a little nuts.
It definitely is.
It's a little nuts. You know, we do. Yeah. Women need to learn how to shoot.
No doubt.
They need to learn how to pay attention. They need to learn how to carry a gun. They need to learn how to protect themselves.
And here's the thing too, we're just coming around to the 2A world now, because New York has been, you know, we don't live in America, we live in Russia.
I call it a free America, an occupied territory.
Right, we live in an occupied territory, so I'm behind enemy lines, and it's like really hard here to get that going, because, you know, in the rest of the country, they grew up, these people, on their lands, shooting in the backyard with grandpappy.
Right.
You know, and they know how to shoot. They did this and that. Here, we don't have that. We don't have backyards that we shot in. It's too small. We're on top of each other here. So we're working with new people. And it's not even the same people that me and you are. Because me and you are like preppers, right? Like, we were already in this world prior to this pandemic happening.
Yep.
These new people that are coming, nothing against them, but they're different. Because they're now realizing how important it is.
Holy moly. It's, I mean, the big shocker, I think, for a lot of people in the pandemic. I hate to say the pandemic, but during the lockdowns, or when we were all put on house arrest, people were like, hey, you know.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Not to be honest. Kind of like that.
It's nice to get some sleep.
Yeah. It's like a 3-month vacation. It was awesome.
But people start to realize, hey, listen, I can't just go to the store and buy a gun. No, you gotta go through a class. What do you mean I gotta go through a class? Well, they don't do classes every day, so you gotta find a place that's gonna do a class. Well, now it's gonna cost $150, $200. It's gonna cost a day. Oh yeah, but then you gotta spend money to get a permit. Oh, that's gonna cost money too. Well, how long does that take? Well, it could take 2 months. 2 months? This is ridiculous. What am I supposed to do? What you do is you call your politicians, you complain a bitch.
Well, I wish we had 2 months. It's 2 years here.
Unbelievable.
2 years. And it's only going to get worse, because more and more people are now like, I want my gun. So what's going on now? Because Hochul, I don't want to get too political, but Hochul is our governor, and our unelected governor.
Unelected governor.
Correct.
I like pointing that out.
Yes, I agree with you. So she feels that because the Supreme Court brought down that we are allowed to now carry, we don't have to show reason, because that went from may issue to shall issue. So may issue meant I had to show cause, like I had a threat for my life, so I had like an order of protection. I had a business, I carry a lot of money or jewels and I can prove it. Or I'm like a security guard or an armed guard, and I can carry a gun like that. Other than that, you are not getting a concealed carry here on Long Island. Until now it has changed to shall issue. So now we don't need those reasons, which is great. But she made it worse for us, because as of September 1st, everything is going to change. Everything.
I was doing a show with Paul Lathrop, who's with the Second Amendment Foundation. And he read all of the places that you couldn't carry.
It's everywhere.
It was from letter A to letter T.
Pretty much.
So 20 places. I remember it took him 7 minutes to read through this. Because he forgot to change the screen. Like, he had me on the screen by myself and I was talking, and then he went to read this list and he forgot to change it over. So for 7 minutes I'm sitting there like drinking a drink.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like just looking at the camera. I'm like, all right, Paul, come on in.
But see, here's the problem with that, is that they're telling us that we can't bring our guns in anywhere. So now we have to leave it in our car unattended. So when my car gets stolen, you're going to get me on leaving my gun unattended. So it's a catch-22.
It really is.
And then you have a store that's going to put a thing in the window that says you're allowed to carry. So I had a lady call me and she goes, hey, how do I carry my business going forward? I said, well, according to the law going forward, you're going to have to put a sign in your window that says you allow concealed carry people, or whatever, however they want to sort it. And she goes, and I said, but you do realize that means other people are now allowed to bring their guns into your business. And she goes, oh, I don't want that. I said, but that's not how it goes, Mama. It goes both ways. So you're opening a can of worms, but yet saying, but I only want it to be. That doesn't work like that. So
have you noticed an uptick in business since
oh my God,
since brewing?
So because of, you know, I was pretty seeded well, I guess you could say, before the pandemic, because we started 3 years ago. We were 8 months old when the pandemic started. So we pretty much made it through this whole entire time. I don't know how we did it, but we did. and it's been a fantastic ride. But there has been a huge uptick. But the problem is you know, people think that now they could just go get a CCW. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You have to get your pistol license first, and then it goes from there. Like, you add on, and people don't understand that. They just think, oh, it goes from 0 to 100 and that's it. No,
right.
There's in betweens, right?
I mean, these people that are new, or that are just discovering this, they start to realize how much bullshit this is. That, oh, you have to go through this, and then you have to go through that, and
right?
Then, you know, you got to go through a background check.
And here's the biggest problem. Ready? Now they're saying 16 hours of lecture we have to go through to get our CCW, and 2-hour live fire. So listen, you know just as well as me, Charlie, that anybody that shoots handguns, you have to keep doing it. You can't just like touch it once in a while. You'll never be proficient, right? Yeah. So they're going to give us like a qualifier to pass, right? And if we don't get better than like 90, they're going to fail us, and they're going to take all your money. Think how much money they're going to spend on a 16-hour lecture and a 2-hour live fire. Right.
It's this is one of the things that I firmly believe in is they'll price you out of it, so only the rich people can afford it.
Exactly.
So Illinois is the same way. 16 hours worth of class to get a concealed carry permit in Illinois. $10 to get a FOID, a firearm owner's ID card.
Okay.
But if you want to get a carry permit, it's 16 hours. 16 hours is 2 days.
Right.
A whole weekend.
What do they cost?
Cost can be anything. Like if you do, you would think if a Mag 40 class would work. Yeah. A Mag 40 class is what, $1,000?
Wow.
Right.
That's what I thought, around 2,000 actually, to be honest.
Right. So if you do a 16-hour class, a 2-day class, it's going to be easy, $500.
Definitely.
And then you have to pay for your license. Then
and
you have
ammo.
to have a gun. Then you have to have ammo. Yep. And then you have to have all the safety.
You have to be proficient too. Like,
right. You do. You do. And it's a little nuts. It is absolutely a little nuts. I kind of ballpark this for Massachusetts. If you went from, hey, I think I'd like to get a gun, to having your own gun with your own ammo, with your own gear, at a range that you belong to, it's an easy $800 to $1,000.
Exactly.
Easy,
and no one that doesn't have money is going to be able to afford that. Right.
And I started teaching gun classes to support my shooting habit.
Me too.
Like, because I was like,
well, besides the other stuff. Yeah. It's claimable.
Right. It is. It is.
It is.
I wanted to shoot more, so I said, well, if I become a gun instructor, I did the whole cost analysis and the break-even point, and I had to go to my, as I affectionately call her, my first ex-wife, and say to her, hey, this is how much money I want to spend for me to become a gun instructor. Well, how much money are you going to make? Right? So I would do all these, I would teach music lessons on the side, so I had extra money so I could funnel into me to buy guns, and to buy ammo, and do all that sort of stuff.
Get your cash going.
Yes, exactly.
People don't understand what it takes to become a firearms instructor, although it's just a couple of classes. There's other stuff involved that you need to be a proficient, efficient instructor, you know? Yeah. And you saw my bag. That bag goes with me everywhere. It's like everything is in there. I have like, you know, my snap caps are with me. I have a stapler in there. I mean...
Oh my God, the stapler. You know how long it took me? I used to go to the range frustrated as hell because I didn't have a stapler, but I wasn't smart enough to go to the Home Depot to get one on the way home from the range. Yeah. I went around for 2 years before I finally... Like, listen, the most important thing you need to bring to a range? A staple gun.
Definitely. And tape, you know, and you know, I call them nipple clips. I know it's a little R-rated, but...
The rest of us call them clothes hangers? Clothes hangers?
No, they're like the ones that go on paper.
Those little
the black
clips.
ones I'm talking about. I don't know if they're... I think they're called paper...
Look, they're not paper clips, they're paper magazines, okay?
Right.
Paper magazines.
Exactly. It's funny when I teach people that, I'm like, if you call it a clip in a gun store around here, they're going to throw a paper clip at you.
I always tell people, I'm like, look, we need to be unified.
Agreed.
We need to get our language together.
Agreed.
And then when I talk to friends that are like, well, dude, you got a clip? No, I don't have any clips.
I do have a magazine, though.
You don't know what you're talking about. You have no right to tell me anything about firearms because you know nothing.
And that's kind of how I approached it yesterday at the diversity shoot when we were working with all these newbies. You know, we had like 5 or 7 minutes to like work with these people or so and kind of like keep it moving.
Yeah.
But when the person came in, I had a blue gun, a training gun, and I would just leave it at the bay, and I would just say, you know, let me see how you pick up that gun. And right away, I could tell, finger on the trigger, you know, into teacup, you know, and I'm like, okay, put it down. I'm going to show you exactly how to hold this gun. Once they listened to me for about 5 minutes, I mean, they were all hitting paper. I didn't see one with like a massive muzzle flip or anything like an anticipation, which is nice.
Right.
In about a mile, we're going to be making a right onto the Wantagh Parkway where the pencil is.
Where the pencil is.
Yep, and then that's our stadium. See it?
Very cool.
Isn't that cool? So, and then all the boats kind of like line up outside this little nook right here in the water.
Oh gosh, that is so cool.
It is, and it really bounces all beautifully. Getting you right when you can.
Awesome.
Yeah, see all the boats are there hanging out?
That's so cool.
I was like, oh man, I want a boat. But you know what they call those, right? Bet on another 1,000. Yeah, no.
I heard there's 2 boats that you like. The first one that you buy and the last one you sell.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Right, soon enough you're going to get your right again.
All right.
Because we're going to be making this right. Because if you stay in the middle, you go straight.
Gotcha.
Or gaily forward, whatever you like. Anyway. Yeah, it's pretty cool. People in the water and stuff. It's awesome. It's a really nice day, too. You picked a great day to come here. Awesome.
It's all skill, baby.
Yeah, I tell you. That diversity shoot. Good job, Tony.
Right, Tony.
Eat a man.
Yeah, so we went to a diversity shoot at the Gun for Hire range last night.
We did.
Anthony Calandra was there. He's a very good friend of mine. We're going to get in the right
Yep,
line.
we're going to make it right. Correct. Sorry.
He owns Gun for Hire range, which is awesome. It's ran by Tony Simon, who I've had on the show as well. I've gone to 3 of these in the last year-ish. Yeah, so it's
He's a cool dude, man.
He is.
And I learned a lot, actually, about the history, which I kind of...
gun control, yeah.
You see the bridge, by the way? How low it is? See?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. So, yeah, you know, I learned a lot about the history last night because, you know, it's one thing I am lacking as an instructor is that behind-the-scenes information, like in terms of history. I don't really know that, and I feel like kind of dumb saying that, but, you know, we're being honest here, and I like to be transparent. I really don't know a lot about that, so it was nice to hear his background on it and his information regarding minorities and the history, which I thought was really amazing to hear. One thing I do point out in a lot of my classes is that, you know, minorities are treated differently in terms of firearms. Sure. So they have to be extra careful as much as possible because they will get targeted, unfortunately. It just happens, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I get chills when I talk about it all the time because it's sad and it shouldn't be like that, but it is what it is. I do get discriminated against myself because I am, you know, I am a butch woman.
What?
And yeah, I know, tell me about it. It's really fun using the restroom where I live, by the way. So, yeah, and, you know, it is what it is. It's either I'm your people or I'm not your people, and that's okay. I like my crew and I like my crowd, and not everybody needs to like everybody, but we all need to get along.
Yes, we all need, I call it pulling a Rodney King. We all need to get along.
It's the truth, you know?
We really do.
And, you know, even like hanging out with you, like, you know, you're not somebody I would probably hang out with normally because you're not like in my demographic, but that's okay.
You're not in my demographic either, girl.
And that's what I think is so cool about this. Yeah. Is that we get to bring that together. I think that's the city over there, if you can see it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that is.
So, you know, we bond because of the love of 2A, and I think that's what's so great about A Girl and a Gun and about my women's club is that we bond no matter what. I mean, I have an 83-year-old and I have a 27-year-old, and we all hang out together.
That's so cool.
It's absolutely amazing, and it's not somebody we'd be like, hey, you want to hang out?
Right.
But now knowing them, I would, because I think they're fantastic people, and who am I to judge somebody, a book by their cover?
Gun owners, I mean, we are in a special club. You know, you somehow do get the
special club. Do I have a card? Right? I think I do.
We all, you know, we're all in the same club that has to deal with all this nonsense and this bull crap and everything, you know, all of the nonsense. And when the light bulb finally goes off, and you see other people that are they're cool people and they're good people, and you find out that they're gun owners, you're like, oh my gosh, these are, as John Petrolino, we like to call it, #MyPeople.
Exactly.
And these are the people I want to hang out with. These are the people you can trust and depend. Yep. When I had some guns that were stolen from me in 2007. Oh Lord. And I did get them all back. They were stolen in an airport, and my whole suitcase was stolen.
Oh my God.
4 handguns in it. Yeah. I did get them all back, which is great.
Holy
cow. I had some friends that are like, hey dude, if you need something, just let me know. I'll let you borrow something.
Oh, all right.
I'm like, I appreciate it. I'll be okay. But these are the people. Like,
that's the people you need to keep close.
Ken Blanchard, the Reverend Ken Blanchard, like he was one of my early shows. He says that anyone that gives you a gun is family, and anyone that wants to take a gun is your enemy.
Absolutely. Wow. I couldn't have said that any better. That's fantastic. Yeah. And nailed it.
He's great, man.
Wow.
And that's a good little phrase.
That is a great phrase. And during the pandemic, that's exactly what I did. There was a few women that didn't have guns, and they just couldn't get them in time, and we were going into lockdown, and I gave them a couple of my guns. I'm like, look, you're an authorized user, you're good to go. Right. I authorize you to have my gun at your house, and you know how to do it, and you're responsible. I'm happy with it. They gave it back. They didn't shoot anybody. They didn't kill anybody, you know, because triggers don't pull themselves, right? So, and they were responsible enough to know the difference, and that's all I can ask for. Yeah.
So transferring firearms, it's not an issue if you got, as long as you have a license?
I didn't transfer. I just like let them use it. But yeah, you would have to transfer it legally, you know, if I wanted them to keep it forever, like if they want to buy it from me or something.
Right. Now, one of the things that I remember is somebody said that, well, in some states, if you give someone a gun, that's a transfer. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they took it, I mean, if you take it to the extreme, it is if we're out hunting and you hand me your gun so you can climb a fence, that's a transfer. And then you climb over the fence and I give your gun back to you, that's a transfer.
Wow.
Then I give you my gun so I can climb over the fence, that's a transfer. And then you give your gun back to me, that's a transfer.
Broken.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
So I have a gun club and they use all my guns, all of them.
Nice.
So, you know, they don't go home with them, but they use them.
Right.
So, you know, other gun clubs do the same thing. So that's a weird loophole. All right, exit W6, which is in like a quarter of a mile on the right here. Cool. I'm going to take it off.
All right, so how can people find you and the Long Island, oh my gosh.
Women's Firearm Club?
I know, I'm trying to think of the tattoo. Right, I'm trying to
Look, it's right there. No, it's okay. So it's Long Island Women's Firearm Club. We have a website, which is www.LIWFC.org. And we also have a phone number, 631-517. We're going to be making it right here, yep. So 631-517-3047. Yeah. And we also are all over Facebook. And she trains you if you are in the area, or if you want me to come train you, I will come to your state if you were interested in being a travel trainer. I had a couple people reach out, and I did a couple of travel trainings. So if you're interested, I can come down and train you, or you can come to Long Island anytime. Just you can't shoot pistol, unfortunately. Long Island. You can't shoot pistol because you have to have a license here, unfortunately. But we could do rifle, you know, for the meantime. Cool. Until Kathy Hochul kind of ruins everything again. Hochul. Hochul. So, yeah, that's it. So thank you, Charlie, man. I appreciate you. This is awesome.
I'm glad to be able to make this happen. It's great that we follow each other. You reached out to me? Where you reached out to me recently?
You know what happened? You wrote a post like, I went to all these states, and you didn't. You wrote New York, but I said, hey, I'm on Long Island. You said, oh, I've never been there.
Been to Long Island.
So I said, come on down.
After driving here, I don't know if I want to come back.
You don't want to come here. We're like stuck here. Please don't come here. We have too many people. Please. And all the 5 borough people come here, and now it's like Queens. Look at this. It's like non-stop. It's insane.
Nuts.
So thank you, Charlie.
My pleasure. Man. Listen, I want to give you a couple of Riding Shotgun and Gun Gram stickers.
Oh, awesome.
For you and your wife.
I love it. Thank you.
And your gun cases and whatnot.
Yeah.
Bam.
Thank you. Ooh.
I don't have any patches, otherwise
Look how cute you are. I love this. Right? Thank you so much. You're the best. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry. We're all good. You're the best.
Awesome. You're the best. Thank you very much.
Nice seeing you.
Thank you. Listen, what the hell do I want to say? I want to wrap it up.
I don't know. Just say, you know, this is. Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for watching this. Look, I got a whole shtick, girl.
No, you don't. No, because
it's all off the cuff. Thank you guys for watching the show. We appreciate you guys watching the show. If you enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. But this is how we get the Stagecoach across America. If you are not a member of the Second Amendment Foundation, excuse me, you need to join them at saf.org. You can contribute to the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms at ccrbka.org. You can find all of your favorite pro-freedom podcasts at sdrn.us. That's the Self-Defense Radio Network. And you need to check out Lisa and the LIWFC.
Very good.
Yes, I got it.
Good job.
I don't have to remember it after this.
I'm so proud of you.
I know, right?
So proud of you.
So good about myself.
You're so good.
All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot.
Peace.